Good morning. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Bella. Welcome to Go channel, your morning AI news roundup.
It's Monday, March 2nd, 2026, and the AI world is absolutely on fire today.
We've got banned AIs in military ops, App Store drama, Google's 1,000 times speed up, Chrome turning the whole web into an AI toolbox, Disney and animation, and a mega media merger. So much to unpack.
Let's get into it. First story, and this one's wild.
The US government reportedly used Anthropic's AI in a major strike on Iran, just hours after banning it.
Wait, they banned it and then used it the same day?
Yeah, Engadget and the Wall Street Journal have this. February 27th, Trump posts on Truth Social. All federal agencies immediately cease all use of Anthropic's technology. 6-month phase-out for agencies like the Department of War that are already using it.
And then a few hours later, they're using Claude for an air attack on Iran?
Exactly. So, on one hand, the administration is saying Anthropic is a problem and we're banning it. On the other hand, the military is still relying on it for real operations because they literally can't replace it overnight.
So it's politically radioactive but operationally critical. That's a really strange place to be.
It is. And it wasn't the first time. Claude was reportedly used before, like in the capture of the now-removed Venezuelan President Maduro. The DoD has already signed deals with xAI and OpenAI to bring their models in, but swapping Claude out of existing workflows could take months.
So we're in this weird in-between moment. What's the public making of all this?
That's our second story. Also Engadget, March 1st. Claude has shot to #1 on Apple's top free apps, beating ChatGPT and Gemini.
So the ban cuts them off from government, but consumer interest exploded?
Right. Engadget says the surge is directly tied to the political fight. Anthropic refused to relax guardrails for mass surveillance and fully autonomous weapons. Hegseth threatened the supply chain risk label, and that label, plus the federal ban, sparked a wave of public support.
So users are basically saying, you punish them for drawing ethical lines, we'll reward them with downloads. I love that.
And here's the twist. Even OpenAI's Sam Altman, during an AMA on X, called the supply chain risk label a very bad decision and an extremely scary precedent, and said he hopes it gets reversed.
Even though OpenAI is literally the company stepping into Anthropic's shoes with the Pentagon.
So the theme is clear. Governments want powerful AI for military and surveillance. Companies are trying to draw lines, and the public is watching and voting with their downloads.
And our third piece adds important nuance. Gizmodo, March 1st. The Pentagon's Claude use in Iran is a reminder that Anthropic never objected to military use.
So they didn't say no military ever?
Right. Gizmodo says Anthropic objected to specific hypothetical uses, fully autonomous weapons, extremely broad mass domestic surveillance, not to all current military use. So Claude helping with planning or analysis for an operation in Iran? That's not outside the lines they drew.
So the conflict was when the government wanted to push toward more extreme, less supervised uses.
Exactly. Put Engadget and Gizmodo together. Anthropic is okay with some defense applications but wants red lines. The government wants more flexibility. That tension is spilling into bans, App Store surges, and the broader conversation about AI safety and control.
Speaking of safety, how do we actually measure if these models are safe and aligned?
Is there something new on that?
Yeah, Hacker News surfaced TSArena, TSArena.ai, March 1st. They bill themselves as independent blind pairwise testing for AI safety. Instead of trusting a company's own benchmarks, different models get tested head-to-head, blindly, on safety-relevant questions, like a taste test for alignment.
So when AI is in real military decisions and leaders are arguing about guardrails, independent safety evaluation becomes way more than an academic exercise.
Exactly. It's still early, just a few points and comments on HN, but it fits the moment.
Now, different angle. While the political drama plays out, there's a huge story in the background. Hardware. Unwire.hk, March 1st. Headline in Chinese. AI demand is triggering a memory crisis. IDC forecasts big drops in phone and PC shipments.
How bad are we talking?
IDC's forecast. 2026 PC shipments down 11.3%. Smartphone shipments, the largest single-year decline on record, down 12.9%. And consumers buying new devices will pay about 14% more on average.
So we get more powerful AI features, but fewer devices shipped and higher prices. That's a real trade-off.
Yeah, AI's huge memory needs, data centers and AI-capable devices, are soaking up supply and driving up component costs. It's reshaping the whole market.
Let's talk cutting edge. MarkTech Post, March 1st. Google AI introduces something called static, a sparse matrix framework for 948 times faster constrained decoding for LLM-based generative retrieval.
948 times? That's for recommendations and search, right?
Yeah. A lot of recommendation systems are moving to what's called generative retrieval. Instead of just picking from a list, LLMs generate semantic IDs for items. Retrieval becomes like the model writing which item you should see. But in the real world, you have to obey business rules. No items too old, from restricted regions, or that violate contracts. Enforcing all that during decoding can be really slow.
And static speeds that up by 948 times in some scenarios?
That's what they're claiming. So what was a cool research idea could actually run at scale? YouTube, Google Play, e-commerce. Under the hood, companies like Google are racing to make AI efficient enough to serve billions of users with strict rules.
Same theme with our next one. Hacker News, Zeitraum.blog, March 1st. WebMCP, Chrome 146 turns websites into AI agent tools.
So not just browsing and scraping anymore?
Right. WebMCP is a new capability in Chrome 146. AI agents can interact with web apps more like a human or a plugin. Click, type, navigate, integrate web functionality into their own workflows. Every website becomes a potential tool. Book a flight, check a dashboard, submit a form.
So if this matures, with Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, agents could actually act on the web at scale. That raises huge security and safety questions.
It does. Still early, a few points on HN, but the direction is clear.
Now the creative side. CNET, March 1st. 300,000 poses in an AI instant. My visit to Disney Studios and the new reality for animation.
Disney's going big on AI for animation?
The reporter visited and saw new AI-powered tools. Disney apparently evaluated thousands of AI companies before backing one that keeps animators in the driver's seat. The headline number: the system can generate around 300,000 character poses in an instant. So instead of animators crafting every in-between frame, the AI fills in huge amounts of motion and variation.
But CNET said humans still control the creative direction, right?
Yeah, the AI is like a supercharged assistant, generating options, poses, tweaks, while the artist decides what's actually used. So, in defense, we're fighting over how much autonomy AI gets. In animation, it's augmentation versus replacement, and Disney is publicly staking out human in control.
Last big one, Unwire.hk, March 1st. Paramount formally acquires Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix is out, but gets about $2.8 billion in compensation.
Why is that in an AI news roundup?
Because Paramount plus WBD is a massive content library under one roof. Movies, TV, animation, franchises. Right when generative AI makes it easier to create, remix, and localize content. Whoever controls that IP, plus the right AI tooling, can do AI dubbing, personalized edits, interactive storytelling, massive automated marketing. We already saw Disney with AI animation. A combined Paramount WBD will likely lean heavily on AI to cut costs, localize faster, maybe even AI-generated spin-offs. That puts more pressure on regulators, unions, and creators to define where AI is allowed to go in entertainment.
So it's not just a media merger, it's a content and AI power play.
Exactly. And we've got Mashable, March 1st, with a shorter confirmation. Claude overtakes ChatGPT in the App Store. So even without the political detail, the headline tells us user preferences aren't locked in. ChatGPT can be dethroned when sentiment rallies around a rival.
So the big picture. AI is moving from the lab into every layer of society. Geopolitically, it's in military ops with companies and governments fighting over red lines and users reacting. On safety and infrastructure, TSArena pushes independent eval. Google Static and Chrome Web MCP turn AI into embedded infrastructure. On hardware, IDC's memory crisis shows AI reshaping PC and phone markets. In creative, Disney and Paramount WBD show big media harnessing AI while insisting humans stay in control. And in consumer AI assistance, Claude is riding public support to the top of the App Store, even as it's pushed out of government.
All the links are in the description. Engadget, Gizmodo, Unwire.hk, MarkTech TSArena, CNET, Zeitraum.blog, Mashable. Subscribe, hit the bell, and tell us in the comments which story you think will have the biggest long-term impact: military AI, AI and entertainment, or the infrastructure changes under the hood.
Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Bella. We'll see you in the next one.